Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is segment 3 of Take a Few Minutes with Tom, and it's the most, what we're dealing with is the most frequently asked questions in real estate. Now, I believe you have a couple of questions for me.
I do. I think in our previous segments we had talked a little bit about location, which is obviously very prevalent and important in all aspects of real estate, and we discussed the idea of location briefly, but perhaps you could elaborate. So if I were to ask you, I think an important question for people would be, what actually defines location when we talk about that age-old location? What does that actually mean?
Well, as we said in a word, the most important thing in real estate is location. So defining it is probably, it revolves around access to highways, proximity to employment, maybe more importantly, the proximity to parks and to schools, cultural centers, and one thing and another. Not all locational factors are positive. Sometimes if you're near a steel mill, for instance, it can be quite a negative, right? But that's where you define location is in terms of the proximity to social and cultural amenities and infrastructure amenities.
Now, would you say that that would impact value then? Is that what you're saying? That
Location is the most important thing in real estate, bar none, followed, in my opinion, by the quality of construction and stuff.
So, but staying with the location for a moment, you would say that that's actually, those factors that we've just listed contribute to either locational influences that would generate an increased value for a person,
conversely, right.
If they weren't having those influences, or had perhaps negative influences. You mentioned a steel mill, or perhaps railroad tracks, or
right.
a busy highway, or something like that. That, on the other hand, being really, really close to the highway might not be as positive as
right.
being in close proximity to it for employment.
All of these factors that define location can either be very positive, but they can also be negative factors, and you have to take all of those into consideration.
Well, I think that's excellent and very helpful for folks that are interested in either selling their home or perhaps buying a house,
right.
Of course.
All the things you have to take into consideration.
Now, speaking more to residential real estate, as we have mostly in the past, what model of a home moving forward do you see as the largest value-added style?
Well, we have the baby boomers, and it's the largest conglomerate of population demographics that the North American society has ever experienced. And baby boomers are starting to retire. So this is going to be a huge factor. They bring an unmeasurable wealth factor to the table. And I believe that looking into the not too distant future is that a home that is being labeled the bungalow is going to be the most value-added residential product out there. Now, it can vary in size and one thing and another, but it lends itself because you have a full master bedroom, usually on the main level, with a full ensuite that if your aging parents have to move in, they can occupy that. You normally have 2 bedrooms and at least 1 bathroom upstairs, and that lends itself to, if children coming back or relatives having to stay with you and one thing and another. And a lot of these bungalows come with walkout basements and one thing and another. So it has adaptability, and I think that's really the key factor.
Each family is different, and as our generations change and whatever, there's adaptable influences that you can use.
Right, and I think it also has that adaptability for what they're calling Generation X and Generation Y coming on, because it lends itself to actually even running a small business at home. And I think moving into this internet age as we are, that's going to be an even more prominent factor with people.
On that note, does it make sense to furnish a vacant home before putting it up for sale? What do you think? What is your opinion on that?
Well, that's a good question. It's one of those things that's often debated. But I draw the analogy to the fact that when you go into a new home site, is that they pay interior decorators tens of thousands of dollars to spruce up a home
which
to
would
give you.
otherwise be vacant.
which would be vacant. And I mean, in the old days, it was minimal furniture and one thing and another. Now you walk into a new home, and it has generally the wow factor, right? And that's the key thing. So I realize that the average homeowner, if they have an investment property or whatever, they don't want to be investing a lot of money into the wow factor. But I think that the fact that if they put in a table and chair and put in a nominal amount of furniture to take away that completely empty look,
which is unwelcoming.
It is. People say it's cold. That's the right word for it. Well,
and that would help in terms of the resale value as well, in terms of the potential price that someone could expect to receive for their property too. Imagination would be built in.
Yeah, it gives people an idea of where they can put their furniture and one thing, and I think that the warmer you can make a home feel, that usually translates to more net dollars in your pocket at the end of the day.
Well, once again, I wanted to thank you for our third segment, being having a great time, spending time with you, and getting some really good answers to questions that I'm sure are frequently asked and perhaps not always answered. So
thanks for asking the questions. And if I can mention is that our second office at 126 Main Street North in Brampton, and of course it's at the corner of Nelson and Main, in close proximity to the GO station. And the number there is 905-451-5977.
Thanks again, Tom.
Yeah, thank you.